Ladies and gentlemen, 49 coming at you another community shoutcast for the OUSA Dota League Season 1. Just going to be loading into 2IP up against Bambi Rising. Should be a very exciting series. The stakes are high for both teams. 2IP need a 2-0 victory if they want to have a chance of qualifying over to the next stage. And Bambi Rising need a clean 2-0 win if they want to move on to the next stage. So whichever team beats the other team can potentially knock them out of the next stages. Just because there are 4 spots to move on into the winner and loser bracket for the next stage, and 5 really strong teams are currently duking it out. So joining me for this cast will be my co-caster Yoshi. I think he's connected in. Yoshi, are you there? Never mind, he'll be joining me a bit later then. Oh.
I'm here now.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, so yeah,
mic seems okay?
Yeah, your mic seems fine today.
Okay, cool.
And so 2IP leading with the first pick. I've been seeing 5200 practicing a lot of Ember Spirit, so he most likely will be banned out. Invoker, first ban, pretty standard.
So it's actually me who put up 5200 to play Ember Spirit.
Ah, I see. Claiming credit now. It's a pretty...
Yeah, I told him it's a strong hero.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like all mid players should be able to at least have some experience with Ember Spirit just to know how he works. Lycan first ban coming up from Bambi Rising, so a respect ban.
Yeah, I think 2IP really like running their Lycan.
Yeah, considering that carry players called Wolf Cut, I could see why. Slark a second ban, so Visage is still in the pool. Bambi's best hero. So no respect ban coming up from 2IP, keeping it very cookie cutter. Bambi Rising, now they're stuck in the pickle. They have to ban out the Ember Spirit unless they want to give it away to Yoda.
I don't...
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know if 2IP actually know how to run Ember Spirit, so they could
5
get
seconds
away with not
remaining.
banning it here.
Huh, that would be interesting then. Dipping
Reserve
into their
time.
reserve times, they're deliberating. Keep in mind, these are very high-stake games for both teams. Both teams want to make sure it's a 2-0 win. If they draw, then it's, their fate lies in the hands of Felthian Friends, TYK, and Horseman of the Ruckus to determine who moves on. So Ancient Apparition ban, so Bambi Rising, perhaps aware of the fact that Yoda's team 2IP don't know how to run an Ember Spirit. And so we've got a Rubick first pick coming up from 2IP.
Radiant
I think it was Mule in the last game who went for him, so Ember Spirit first pick. So there you go, Yoshi. We'll be seeing some 5200 Ember Spirit.
It'll be interesting to see how he plays.
Yeah, although you do have to keep in mind, Ember Spirit does have a fair few counters, particularly during the laning phase. 2IP might instead choose to run a Viper. I know they ran Thundercount over in the Viper in their series up against See and Believe. And Visage, so 2 very powerful heroes coming up from Bambi Rising. Bambi the Retarded Chiyu, his best hero, Visage, with that Grandmaster StarCraft 2 micro. King of the Tri-Lane, and yeah, Viper instant counter pick coming up from 2IP. They've been watching the replays of Horseman of the Ruckus. They recognize Viper as a very strong counter to the Ember Spirit, because Nethertoxin does physical DPS, so it doesn't care how much armor you have, it'll just rip right through you. Ember Spirit has 1 armor, so it's entirely reliant on the Stout Shield, as well as the fact that you can orb harass him as a ranged hero compared to a melee. Against the Viper, do you still go for
5 seconds remaining.
the max?
Destroys most melee heroes in the lane.
Yeah, do you still go for a max Flame Guard build against Viper, or do you go for the QW build instead?
Snow has actually
Radiant
like,
team
extensively tested the matchup out, and he still feels like maxing Flame Guard is the way.
Okay. Because I figured that since Viper does so much physical DPS, Flame Guard doesn't really provide you any survivability. I mean, it does mitigate Viper Strike, but by that point you might have lost the lane. So whereas if you max the
It's not so much for the damage block, but more for the
5 seconds
damage.
the magical AoE DPS that it kind of deters Viper from fighting you when you have the Flame Guard on.
Ah, right, I see. So just gonna quickly log into Steam, so notice I'm still online. And so Timbersaw ban as the 3rd ban, as well as Dazzle, coming out for both teams. Dazzle as a 3rd ban, a bit more understandable than 1st or 2nd ban, or 1st or 2nd pick. A lot of synergies coming out from Dazzle. He's been played a lot more aggressively, and the last few games I've seen him, just because if you do max out Poison Touch, it provides a surprisingly long duration snare, as well as a mini stun at the end.
5 seconds
Timbersaw is the
remaining.
3rd ban, once again, pretty standard ban for the offlane, incredibly powerful in a 1v1 situation. Once he gets the ball rolling, it's very difficult to stop. Crystal Maiden banned out, has a lot of synergy with the Visage, just because you've got the Crystal Nova as well as the Frostbite, which synergize well with Visage, who, outside of Grave Chill, doesn't have any means to control enemy heroes. And so both teams have already picked up a tri-lane support hero as well as the mid.
10
And so
seconds
the
remaining.
off-lane is the one that's been targeted as well as other tri-lane support heroes. We see the majority of the bans, Ancient Apparition,
5
Crystal
seconds
Maiden, and
remaining.
Dazzle, have been targeted towards the tri-lane. Invoker and Slark are mid bans, and the
Reserve time.
Lycanthrope the tri-lane carry.
I think BR should probably pick up the Centaur Warrunner because they're very comfortable running it and it works really well with Ember Spirit.
Yeah, Mujrim played an absolutely phenomenal Centaur Warrunner in the game number 2 up against Horseman of the Ruckus. He was consistently able to land 2 3-man hoof stomps. Really helped win his team a lot of fights. Just because that balls out aggression he could pull out. So-
That was a really good game.
Yeah, it was amazing some of the plays that were coming out. Bit unfortunate that the Doombringer chose to build a Daedalus instead of building something else like an Abyssal Blade. Or even the Sheepstick. Especially...
I think like during the mid game they didn't have enough sentry coverage and they just sped a lot of features.
Radiant team pick.
Yeah, that was definitely another factor. And so Bambi Rising banning out the Doombringer. Fearing that same level of aggression that could come out from Doom. And yeah, Centaur Warrunner picked up some Mujrim signature hero.
Team pick.
Very confident on Centaur Warrunner, and for good reason. Difficult to beat the Centaur Warrunner in lane. 2IP could be going for the Clockwork pickup, since he hasn't been banned out yet. And Clockwork does beat Centaur Warrunner in lane, just because the cogs are ice. Wolfcart also plays a fantastic Clockwork. They ran actually a tri-lane Clockwork in the last game that I casted, where you were actually a standard as the lone druid.
Yeah. That was a
10
fun game.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, I can imagine. That poor Marana.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Lone Druid is actually really powerful in 1v1 laning.
Yeah, he's
Reserve
such a
time.
pain in the ass to deal with, because you've got the fact that he's going to outlast you since you've got the combined damage from the bear as well as the hero. Then once he hits level 5, you have to always be worried of the Lord Tangle that will come out, since if you get entangled, you're probably going to take a fall.
But I don't think 2IP can run Lone Druid without me playing it. So I think they'll pick it.
Another humble brag coming out from Yoshi. You're full of them today, huh?
Well, I mean, if they were to take it, like it's really good against Centaur Warrunner in the 1v1.
Yeah, that's true. Centaur Warren as a melee hero doesn't have any form of lane control. He's got Return, which will deal a surprising amount of damage back, but other than that, that's about it. So Clockwork
Radiant
picked up
team pick.
Thundercart, or we'll probably be playing the Viper, so Wolfcart up on the Clockwork. Since they have the Rubick, they could even go for a Clockwork tri-lane. It's actually a surprisingly powerful combination, just because you have the Rubick Telekinetic Lift to throw them back into 2 or 3 cogs. They get pushed back, they get their HP and mana burned, and then they're pushed out into a bad situation. Surprising amount of damage coming out from that combination. Weaver picked up as the primary
Dire
carry
team
for
pick.
Bambi Rising. Very strong hero, especially against the lack of lockdown coming out from 2IP. Clockwork does have his Cogster, which will force out the time lapse, and Rubick has his lift, but Viper can't do anything to Weaver since you can Viper strike him, but Weaver still has his time lapse and he still has his Sakuchi to be able to scuttle around.
I'm very curious as to what BR will pick as their other support.
Yeah, we could even see something like a Sand King. I mean, Visage
10
is a Grave
seconds
Chill to set
remaining.
up the Burrow Strike. You've got the Stampede from Centaur Warrunner to mitigate his low initiation
5
range at the early
seconds
stages of the
remaining.
game. And he provides a tremendous amount of offensive capability with the Epicenter as well as the Burrow Strike.
Reserve
They
time.
could, however, go for a more conventional support hero. Bit
I think
unfortunate.
something like a Tidehunter could work really well.
Tidehunter, really? Huh.
Yeah.
I guess you just rely on the ultimate wombo combo then. You've got the Stampede into the Ravage.
Yeah, but also if you pick Tidehunter here, it like really forces Viper to make BKB instead of other peaceful items and stuff like that. But I'm kind of doubtful that they will actually pick Tidehunter. I'm just saying it would work pretty well with this
Right.
lineup.
And you've got the double snare negative armor combination coming out. From Weaver throws out the Swarm, Tidehunter has Gush, you also have Grave Chill, so you've got a long snare duration coming out, and then Weaver to get all those right clicks in. And Tidehunter picked up by 2 IP. Maybe they're watching the stream. There is a 2-minute delay, so never mind. But Tidehunter pick up for 2 IP. Do you think it'll be a tri-lane Tidehunter, or do you think they'll be going for an off-lane with perhaps a tri-lane Clockwork?
No, I definitely. Well, in the game that I was playing Lone Druid,
10
they actually
seconds
did try
remaining.
them with the Clockwork, so it's not out of the question.
Mm.
But I do think that
5
Tidehunter should
seconds
be in the
remaining.
support position here.
But, okay, so you've got Rubick and the Tidehunter. Very interesting support
Reserve
duo.
time.
Rubick, a very defensive support hero, although his lift does provide a great deal of offensive power. the reason why Rubick tapers off as a support hero is he's fairly greedy. You want to get level 6 as soon as possible just for that spell steal. And Fate Bolt does cost a lot of mana and isn't the best nuke in the world. It is provided a substantial amount of damage, but 280 compared to 300 that a lot of our support heroes have, especially when you combine consider the fact that Visage has his Soul Assumption, which is basically a free level 1 Dagon. So 5th ban coming out from Bambi Rising, they want to start banning out tri-lane carry heroes. Probably could be seeing something like a Luna ban, very strong synergy with the Rubick. And banning out the Nagasarian, I think it was Yoda that played Nagasarian in the game, in game 1 of you guys against SM Belief. I didn't actually catch most of the first game. Was it a mid Nagasarian?
He was playing Nagasarian carry, but they actually ran
Radiant
X,
team pick.
but I don't think they'll pick X here. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was very surprised with the axe pickup. It was interesting to see.
The X was really effective though. The X had like 21 kills at the end of that game.
Yeah, he had something like Blade Mail, Molnir, Aghanim Scepter, Blink.
Yeah, it's a really powerful hero if you get a hit that snowballs really hard. And I was on the Invoker that game, standing for them as well. And I was
10 seconds remaining.
I was doing a lot of setups with the tornado, and he just blinks in and calls like all the
5
people
seconds
tornado.
remaining.
Oh, jeez.
Really strong.
Tornado EMP into Blink and Slam and
Reserve
Axe.
time.
Pause, see and believe.
Windranger at your service.
Windranger picked up, so a tri-lane
Dire
Windrunner.
team pick.
Since I don't think they'll have Mujarim play tri-lane Centaur Warrunner. Centaur Warrunner doesn't offer all too much in a tri-lane situation, just because he's a melee hero with melee range abilities. He does have the Gravejaw to help set it up, but most likely will be Windrunner as a tri-lane hero. And Lifestealer picked up. So I believe 2 Easy will be playing the off-lane Clockwork. Lifestealer being played by Wolfcunt. Actually, Mule, who played a fantastic Rubick in the last game, playing the Viper. So just going to quickly introduce...
Oh yeah, no, sorry, you go ahead, Chris.
Alright, so I'm just going to introduce the players from both sides. So 5200 Dead Bambi's playing Ember Spirit. He's been practicing the hero a lot, so we'll see if that practice pays off. Mujarim playing a signature Centaur Warrunner. Curry, who plays a phenomenal Rubick, playing Windrunner this game. Ghoulie, carry player, playing the Weaver. And Bambi, the retarded Chiyu, up on the Visage. Over for the Dire side, we've got 2 Easy off-lane player for 2 IP, playing the Clockwork. Mule heading over to the mid lane as the Viper. Thundercunt playing a Tidehunter, a bit surprising considering the last series I casted he was the mid Viper. Yoda, the captain, support player, playing up on the Rubick, and Wolfcunt over on the Lifestealer.
They 2IP really like to switch their roles around. Like I think they usually put a lot of emphasis on Wolfcunt. Yeah, Wolfcunt is the Naix this game.
30 seconds to
And
battle.
they're looking to get a lot of farm on him. He's probably the most skilled player in my opinion. He was carrying both the games that I was standing in for them really hard.
Yeah, he's got a lot of calculated aggression coming up from him. He knows when he's stronger than the enemy heroes, so he knows when to engage and when to disengage. Very good trait to see in carry heroes, just because it enables you to do more with less. You see, he's gone for the very traditional Lifestealer build, Stout Shield and some regeneration, just keeping in mind the fact that he has 1 base armor.
The battle begins.
Oh, they're aggressive tri-laning with the Windrunner.
Yeah, I don't know how effective this will be. I mean, Windrunner does offer a lot of right-click power, and you've got the potential chase coming out with the Windrun. And it actually looks like...
I think this is not a bad strategy. They have 2 melee heroes in their tri-lane. So this could actually work really well as long as they aim for heroes other than the Lifestealer.
Yeah, a tri-lane Centaur Warrunner. So right as I was saying that Centaur Warrunner tapers off and effectiveness in the tri-lane, they decide to go for it. Weaver's soloing up over against the Clockwork, so I'd have to give the advantage over the Weaver, although he can't go for the Sakushi harass without the cogs trapping him in or knocking him back, so he has to keep that in mind. And
I think Weaver does really well against Clockwork in the lane. The thing I was gonna say before I accidentally interrupted you while you were introducing the players, I think the Tidehunter pick is actually really good for like the mid and late game situations where the Stampede initiation comes in. You can just counter initiate with the Ravage.
yeah, Tidehunter one of the best counter initiators in the game, just because Ravage does completely tear apart your initiation, especially when you overcommit and find yourself out of position. Silencer was also used to great effect by Team Recursion to counteract Mujarim Centaur Warrunner, as every time he pops Stampede, Silencer would ult, so they'd find themselves caught way in over their head.
Yeah, the Tidehunter Ravage is a really good counter initiation tool against the Stampede. It's also really good because you wouldn't expect most of BR's heroes to pick up BKB, like if they could help it. Like Weaver and Ember would really like to skip BKB if they could, but
Yeah.
they will be forced to go BKB by the Tidehunter pick.
And we see Centaur Warrunner chooses the skill Return at level 1. So he doesn't want to deal with any harassment coming up from Yoda, as well as the lifestealing. While that's happening, over in the mid lane, we see Mule is clearly dominating the Ember Spirit, really harassing him out of lane, making sure to constantly keep the orb harassment up on him. One of the reasons that makes Viper such a strong 1v1 hero is that Nether Toxin, he trades much more effectively than you do. As the lower your HP gets, the more damage he's dealing to you. Also works on creeps for half damage, so it helps him out CS you in lane. Probably going to want to pick up a point in the Corrosive skin.
Oh, there's a smoke gank.
Smoke gank happening from Yoda as well as Thundercunt. A double damage rune spawning on the top lane as well. 5-200 might actually get caught out of position. Smoke is revealed. Lift up. Viper comes and throws him back towards their lane. 5-200 has maxed out the Flame Guard as his build. He turns around, throws out the Searing Chains, catches out 2, eats a gush, and he takes a fall. Thundercunt takes a very successful first blood. Well-timed rotation coming out from 2IP. Bambi the retarded Chiyu as well as Curry hanging around as well. They want to perhaps try to pick off Yoda, but he's got a double damage.
This is gonna be de-warded, unfortunately.
Yeah, instant D-ward coming out from 2IP. They did their homework, they recognized the importance of the safety ward. Wolfcant getting called out. Telekinetic lift stuns out 2. Mujrim actually taking a lot of damage. Grave Shield popped over on the Tidehunter, and Centaur Warrunner takes the fall. Yoda says, do or do not, you're gonna die. And beats him down with the DD.
The laning phase is really not turning out well for BR.
Yeah, that was all coming from that one smoke rotation. Perfect timing from them. Double damage rune spawn. They knew 5-200 wanted to go pick it up. And then he was caught out of position, thrown back. Great plays coming up from the Rubick. What's happening on the top lane? Looks like more action still happening. Then the cunt caught out the shackle, eats a hoof stomp. Power shot misses, unfortunately, but he's going to take a fall to the right-click power coming out from the dive, from the radiant side.
Upon the tides.
So they do get a retaliatory kill.
Yeah.
While I say that in the bottom lane, Ghoulie forced to pop Clarities to sustain his Sakuchi harass. He actually he's choosing to max out Geminate attack. Huh, that's a very interesting skill build coming up from Weaver. Any thoughts on this, Yoshi?
It is a very interesting skill. I suppose it's really effective at harassing the Clockwork, but in the mid game he might find himself like struggling because of lack of points in the Shikuchi.
Yeah, Weaver has the lowest base stat pool in the game. He has a combined stat pool of 44, and so he's entirely reliant on Sakuchi. That's because Sakuchi is so goddamn broken that Ice Frog nerfed Weaver's stats to make sure that he's very squishy outside of it. That's the reason why Sakuchi's so... He's actually caught inside the cogs. Sakuchi's gonna wear off in the main. He's duking out too easy. Yeah, actually too easy. Doesn't have to battery assault to be able to harass him back with the creep wave so close as well. So he's been forced out of lane. He's got something being couriered over to him. Looks like a bottle.
It's a bottle. Yeah.
And while that's happening in the mid lane, Mule continuing to crap all over the Ember Spirit. So he's taking a page from Ken Killer's book. Gonna keep him down.
Yeah, the Ember Spirit has 6 CS. This is really difficult.
Compared to the 19 as well, so 9 denies. He also fed First Blood, so he's significantly behind in gold and EXP compared to Mule, who's having an absolute ball of a time. We see him sitting there. He's actually choosing to max out Nether Strike and building towards the mech as his first item. 2IP are one of the few teams that like to run mech as their first core item on the Viper. Most teams like to run something like an Aghanim Scepter, so quick treads into Aghanim Scepter, or even a BKB.
Mech is really good on Viper though.
Yeah, similar to a mechanism up on Razor, it provides you that tanky EHP, and also provides a utility for your teams. It means your support players and your offlaner don't have to go for the mech, so it saves them from buying it. The team that gets the earlier mech can take early engagements, so you can transition those into towers. What's happening over the top lane? More action happening. Telekinetic lift throws back Mujrim. Yoda being on point with the Telekinetic lift so far.
Better my bleed than theirs.
Wolfcant going from this.
They're still winning the lane because the Centaur is really far ahead, like CS-wise.
Yeah, Centaur Warren is actually out CSing Wolfcant by 8. We've got a disconnect coming out from Thundercunt. So he's been having a ball of a time. He's got 2 points up to return now, so if the supports ever rotate away, he can start double edging Lifestealer. Does a lot of harassment, especially when you consider the fact that Centaur Warren is going to be picking up Tranquil Boots, so he could do that all day. Ghoulie with a point up in his time lapse. He's not going to be taking a fall to Clockwork. The Max Gemini attack build, very strange, but he's making it work so far. He might be punished for it when some support rotations start coming in from the Dire side.
This laning phase is quite even. Like I would say, top and bot are in Bambi's favor. but mid is really heavily in 2IP's favor, so I think overall it's kind of even.
Yeah, it all really depends on what they do in the mid game. Since I mean, I remember watching EG against Team Liquid. Our TC fed 3 kills over in the Ember Spirit in the early stages of the game, but Team Liquid went for a greedy build. They started going for Midas on the core heroes. They didn't really take as many early fights as they did, so they didn't capitalize on Ember Spirit being really underfarmed. And eventually he was able to turn it around, pick up a few kills, and ended up carrying his team to victory. So Ember Spirit does have that comeback potential, especially when you consider the fact he still has to slay the fist into Searing Chain combination. Soul Assumption flies out, Wolfgang driving him away. Bambi the retired Chia might be taking some forfeiting his life for this, never mind. Moocherin pops the salve, he's back to full HP, turning around, ready to back him up. And Wolfgang taking a lot of harassment, pops the salve. Haste Rune over in the bottom lane, gonna be bottled up by Too Easy. It looks like he's transitioning for a gank. He's got level 6, so he's got the hook shot up, as well as his max out battery assault. 3 points up in that, he could do a lot of damage.
Oh, okay, Ember Spirit just hit level 6, I don't think he will die to the game. He's rotating, the Clockwork's rotating top. This could be really bad for Bambi.
Great plays coming out from Too Easy, recognizing that Ember Spirit, once he's level 6, you can't gank him just because you can throw out the Fire Remnant. And the instant you hit 6, you usually want to place a defensive Remnant if you think you're in threat of being ganked. Hooks in, actually hits the creep, gets the cogs, pushes back to traps and Curry. Phenomenal plays coming out from Too Easy. Throws back to Centaur Warrunner. Moocherim's caught out position. Windrunner takes a fall, eats the gush as well as the anchor smash to the face. Wolfgun's coming at you. He's going to cut you in half. Yoda continues to whack you down, and Lifesteal gets that last hit in. Chia the retarded, he's actually Bambi's out of mana. He gets cog pushed back again, ensuring he can't get the Soul Assumption off. Ghouli's rotated over, but he's only got 2 points off in the Sakuchi, so keep in mind he is very squishy if he gets called out of position. Turns around, Ghoulie throws out a few cheeky right clicks over on Thundercunt. But Too Easy.
I like the fact that Ghoulie rotated here.
Yeah, he should have capitalized and gone for the split push, since Weaver doesn't offer all too much, especially without a point in Swarm. What are you going to do? Just run at them and throw out a few right clicks?
He should have just stayed bottom and kept his farmer.
He would have gotten a lot of CS. It could have started pressuring the tower as well. We see he's gone for the early Treads build on Weaver. What are your thoughts on this? I know Weaver's one of those heroes where you don't even have to build boots if you don't want to.
Treads is just good for fighting earlier on. But like I said, he could have just stayed at bottom. He could have built Perseverance first instead, and actually just farmed his life away because the Clockwork's not there.
Yeah, that's 30-40 seconds, so that's an entire wave and a half, perhaps. A few hits on the tower as well.
Dying to the tower at bot now.
Yeah, 5-200 bottles up a double damage rune. He's going to be very happy with that. Looks like he went for Snow's build, so maxing out the Flame Guard with 1 point up into the Slate of Fist just to ensure that he could get his Searing Chains off at long range. Very standard build coming out from the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I would have thought Snow's build is just a standard build.
Yeah, I don't know, like Sing Sing goes for his weird build where he maxes out Slate of Fist and completely disregards Flame Guard, so he plays balls to the wall. I think RTC does the same thing, but that's the conventional.
That's the RTG build.
We'll be seeing if he goes for...
Build, you actually put 3 points in Searing Chain before maxing Slide of Fist.
Yeah, just because it gives you that 3-second lockdown.
Yeah.
Increases the DPS from 120 at level 1 to 240 at level 3, so actually this is a surprising amount of damage. Ghoulie and Moocherim both in the same lane, so neither of them really getting all too much gold or EXP. Mule's just been sitting there mid this entire time. I think he should have his Mechanism up in a bit. Does he have it flying out to him now? Yeah, he's got Mechanism up, so 9-minute Mechanism coming out from Mule, who's been having a great game over in the mid lane. Curry over in the mid lane now, just to sap a bit of EXP.
I'm actually surprised at how even the game is. Like, if you look at the golden experience script, they're actually in Bambi's favor.
Yeah, EXP in favor of Bambi, as well as gold. Wow, that's very surprising. Another disconnect coming out from Thundercunt. I guess it's because Ghoulie is leading the CS scoreboard, and Wolfcunt has been severely shut down by this tri-lane Centaur Warrunner. It was quite effective, the fact that he's able to get up there, tank Lifestealer's Feast, and return a few hits of his own. Means like Yoda and Tidehunter, they did do the right thing though in this situation. They know that they couldn't clash try try, so instead rotated over to the mid lane and ensured that Mule's able to get his very early Mechanism. With that early mech up, they could look for fights and early tower pushes. Since you've got the extra 250 HP buffer coming out from the mech, means that they should be winning these early engagements very convincingly, especially once Tidehunter hits level 6 and has the Ravage, as well as Rubick up with the Spell Steal. Rubick actually choosing to go...
I'm very concerned that Bambi don't have like wards on the map at all. I don't see a single ward for Bambi on the map, and they need a scout rotations like this because Yeah, I mean, this 5-man, if they get the kills here, this could turn into a tower push for 2IP.
Yeah, especially with the mech up. So we've got all 5 heroes from 2IP hanging around. Battery Assault used by 2 easy to farm creeps, however, so we won't have that to provide a lot of DPS for the next 20 or so seconds. Yoda choosing to go for a point up in the null field, so choosing not to max out the telekinetic lift.
I actually prefer this build, the null field build. I don't think telekinetic lift scales particularly well.
Yeah, that's true. If you've got fast enough fingers to be able to reposition the lift without needing the extra duration for it, why not stick with just 1 point and max out the null field? Invisibility rune spawns top. We see the 2 supports for Bambi Rising getting a lot of free EXP and gold. If Visage gets his level 6 before Tidehunter gets Ravaged, that could actually be a huge favor in Bambi Rising's point. We've got some TP rotations coming in. Yeah, Visage wants to hang around. He's got the Soul Assumption, so he knows that he can at least snag a kill or 2 or drive a hero back. 5 hero group up coming up from 2IP. If 2 easy gets a fantastic hookshot initiation, and he can easily split the fight like he did the last game. Notice that in that engagement, he actually hookshotted to a creep so that he could trap Windrunner and then push the other 2 heroes back. He didn't want to trap all 3 with them. Great recognition coming up from him. As Cogs not only is an ability that you could use to isolate heroes, you could also use it to reposition them. Ghoulie going in for a bit of cheeky Sakuchi harass. Backs away when he recognizes.
I don't think BR should contest this tower push. They simply cannot fight this. They have a Viper with a mech there. They don't have Centaur on the Centaur.
Yeah, they should continue to push split push the mid and bot lane. I mean, Bambi could have stayed mid, gotten him a lot more EXP since he's not accomplishing all too much over in the top lane. We see Ember Spirit choosing to go for 3 points up in Searing Chain, so he's got that 2nd point up. He wants to max that, get 3 points up, and then just to give him that critical 3-second disable. And then he'll go back to maxing out the Slate of Fist. Looks like he's got his Drums of Endurance flying out to him in the career. Never mind, it's just a Bracer. 5-200, been having a pretty poor game. But in terms of CS, it's just a Mule that's been keeping track with Bambi Rising. As 2 easy was heavily beaten by Ghoulie with that max Gemini attack build. Looks like Weaver's going for the Lincoln Sphere, so a very standard build coming out from him.
I think once the Tidehunter hits level 6, they will actually just they should actually just push all the outer towers down, because you can't contest towers against a Ravage without a lot of strong ultimates of your own. Like they need the Centaur ulti, they need Visage's ulti.
Not only that, the mech as well, just making it that much harder. 2 easy pops to Cogs just to drive back the heroes from the Radiant side. Looks like Wind Ranger's going to be the one building that mech. Great pickup on her. She's been giving a lot of space to farm as well, so she should be finishing up in the next few minutes. 2 IP grouping up, so while they're doing that, they're leaving the other 2 lanes free to farm. Instant TP rotations happening mid. They want to keep going. Wolfcant, he needs to get kills or tower pushes to be able to cement his gold lead since he's been pretty poor. There's about 500 gold off his Drums of Endurance, so that'll give him a lot more fighting capability.
I would have actually liked to see Visage and Windrunner's position swapped in that situation. Like the Windrunner should have been a top spamming tower shot at the waves to keep the pushback, while Visage should stay mid and take the farm.
Yeah, looks like Bambi's playing the 5 position and Windrunner's playing the 4 position. Very surprising considering the fact that Visage scales very well into the game. You get the Aghanim Scepter, you get the Mechanism up on him. He provides a lot of damage and utility to your team. I suppose Windrunner also scales pretty well into the late game because you've got the Focus Fire and the 4-second disable coming out from the Shackle Shot. So it's a bit of a tricky call. I suppose in this case Bambi's taking it for his team. Mechanism almost finished on Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I guess it's not like because the Windrunner needs the farm or anything. I mean the Visage needs the farm or anything. It's just that if the Windrunner was at top, he would have delayed the push more by spamming power shot at the waves.
Yep.
Whereas the Visage can't really do anything there.
Yeah, you can throw out a Soul Assumption, but that's about it. But with no hero damage, it's not going to do all too much. You need max charges for it to really be effective.
They're looking for the Viper at bot. Here we go.
Fire Remnant in. Slay the Fist and the Searing Chain initiation onto Mule. He has that mech. He's going to have to pop it. Never mind. He takes a fall before he does. Burst damage combination coming out the double edge as well as the Soul Assumption. He waited a bit too long to pop his mech and he died instantly before support could rotate in. In the top lane, Ghoulie's continuing to split push.
That's what that wispy glow around the tower means.
Bambi Rising might be starting to turn this around. 2 easy's hanging around. He's got his hook shot, but he knows against a Weaver he has time lapse. It will be a waste. Drums of Endurance picked up on Lifestealer. Wolfcut's been having a very poor game. Mujari is about 800 gold away from his blink, so that will be a significant item in their favor. Windrunner is about 130 gold away from a mechanism as well, so if she could pick up her mech in the next few minutes, since Mule hasn't actually been able to pop his mech once, they can look to start taking fights, and we see a very defensive ward placed on the Ancients to provide vision from rotations toward the middle lane, as well as a defensive ward placed over in the jungle that blocks off all vision. That gives you all entry points into the jungle outside of the lane itself, so that's a very safe defensive ward placed there, so long as your tier 1 bottom tower remains up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. It has no arms to defend itself.
Yeah, considering the fact that they gave away a lot of kills in the early stages of the game, they've recovered quite nicely. We see Thundercut getting some neutrals, so he's going to kill off that Mud Golem and get his Ravage, and that's when they want to start grouping going for these pushes. Yoda, sitting at level 5.5, he needs to pick up his level 6 for that spell steal, as there's a lot of really effective spells for him to steal in this game. Shackle Shot, or the Sakuchi, as well as the Grave Chill and the Soul Assumption. Curry's throwing out a few cheeky power shots just to prevent the push coming out.
Yeah, as long as the Windrunner stays in the lane that 2IP are pushing and just spends power shots away, while Ghoulie and 5200 are getting their farm on, I think Bambi are coming out very far ahead.
Could be a potential hookshot coming up from 2 He's got a haste rune. He actually whiffs the hookshot. Bit unfortunate, but with that haste rune, he could look to make something happen anyway. Runs back to the mid lane. They're going to take a free mid tower, but with that level 1 hookshot wasted,
Radiant's middle tower is normal.
It's a bit of a waste.
Disastrous if that hookshot landed.
Yeah, while that's happening, Ghoulie takes a trade, so good plays coming up from Bambi Rising, recognizing they couldn't clash head on head, so instead they're going to take what they can, go for trades. You never want to give anything away for free, you always want to make it a trade. Thundercunt's got his Ravage up, choosing to max out his Anchor Smash now that he has his Arcane Boots so he can sustain it. Anchor Smash does do a surprising amount of AoE DPS, as well as the fact that it reduces damage by 40%, that's another thing to keep in mind. Arcane Boots picked up by Visage. He's still not level 6 yet. Really wants his level 6 so he can have those familiars. But that level 3 Soul Assumption, especially in conjunction with the double edge coming out from Mujari, can provide a huge amount of burst damage potential. Ember Spirit, he's been getting a lot of EXP now. He's level 10. He's going to start maxing out the Slate of Fist. He just wants to stick with 1 point in the Fire Remnant to enable him to reposition. As the damage is nice, but you could do more with other points in your 3 other abilities.
The Windrunner is really big for a support Windrunner. He's level 8 and got mecha up already.
Yup, Blink Dagger up on Centaur Warrunner. So Bambi Rising, they're actually at the point where they can win these head-on engagements, and it looks like they're grouping up to do just that. Windrunner isn't there though, she's TPing back in. So Thundercunt, Wolfcunt, and Yoda could be caught out of position with that Stampede, Blink initiation, as well as the Fire Remnant. Wolfcunt in the front line, Stampede's been popped, Blink in, actually blinks onto the Naix, he pops Rage instantly, he's going to be thrown back, Viper Strike over on Ember Spirit. While that's happening, rares the Ravage, Ravage pops only a 1, that's a Shiva level Ravage, too easy, duking out with 5200, pops the Ravage and takes a fall, Yoda takes one more right click from Bambi and takes a fall as well, Mujari takes a fall, great plays coming from 2IP, making him pay for it, Ghoulie popped his time lapse, taking a lot of damage, forced to use his Sakuchi, able to destroy that last hit, which would have killed him. Windrunner out of mana. Bambi's going to be taking a fall as well as he caught up in the staff from the open wounds, as well as the right clicks coming up from the poison attacks. And 2IP actually managed to win that fight, surprisingly.
It wasn't too uneven a fight, but it's largely because the Centaur misplaced his blink.
Yeah.
If he got that blink initiation on someone other than the light, he would have definitely started a much cleaner team fight for Bambi.
Good reactions coming out from Wolfcunt. In the instant Centaur Warrunner blinked in, he popped Rage. Said, what you gonna do, bitch? Started straddling away. If 2EZ had his hook shot, that could have easily been another 2 kills.
And I don't mean in love.
But nonetheless, great plays coming out from him.
So they said the goal difference between the two teams isn't very far because Bambi have been getting a lot more just
solo
farm around the map.
Yeah, solo golden EXP. In terms of EXP, this is very significant difference. Hookshot flies out, catches out. Mujari, he's gonna take a fall again. Drops the hoop stomp, but you're surrounded by 4. There isn't all too much you can do. Great plays coming out from Viper. Pinpoint precision, as well as 2EZ threading the eye through the needle, catching him out with the hookshot. He's going to find a regeneration rune, so he's going to be very happy with himself. Looks like he's going for the Blade Mail as his first big item. Lot of power coming out from the Clockwork with the Blade Mail, especially this early on, against a team that has so much AoE damage coming out from Bambi Rising. Makes it difficult for whoever he hookshots into.
There it goes.
Windrunner going for the face boot. She's going to have it up with that last CS. And Bambi has his Visage Familiars up. He didn't have that in the last fight. That was a very critical factor in favor of 2IP. As if he had the Familiars to provide the extra DPS as well as the bird drop, Could have been a completely different fight. Wolfguard looks like he's building towards.
Visage is really, really underleveled. Like, if you're still level 5 at 10 minutes, like if you're not level 6 around 10 minutes, you should actually just sit in like the carries lane and use some EXP because it's really important that you hit your level 6.
Yeah, Visage without Familiars is a very, very sad gargoyle. 5200, probably going to be building towards. Do you think he'll still go for Desolator as his first big item, or do you think he's going to be forced to go for the BKB with the Ravage?
I think BKB is the smarter pickup, but it's hard to say. If you play smartly, you could do without. Oh, the Visage Familiars might get caught.
Tidehunter disconnecting once again. Thundercunt's internet proving to be a bit of a pain. While it's happening, Too Easy traps out Curry and the Cogs, lift to throw him back, and he gets an easy kill. Too Easy for Too Easy. Watch out, TC. He's going to steal you in the claim to fame. Armlet up on Wolfguard.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Waiting for a pause coming out from 2IP, considering the fact that Tidehunter has disconnected, but I don't think they've actually noticed.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. Should we point it out to them? Or
Oh, there we go. No, there's a pause code coming out. Viper going for the very early Aghanim Scepter. He's going to have it in 1,000 more gold. Terrifying pickup on Viper as it increases Viper Strike's range to 950. Also decreases the cooldown to 12 seconds, so he could get off 2, maybe 3 Viper Strikes off in the fight. Very effective way to control enemy heroes. Weaver, he's almost got his Lincoln Sphere. That's going to make him a lot tougher to kill. So he's been getting a lot of farm.
Nearly has a dagger.
Oh, that's a very significant pickup. Wolfguard taking up the creep wave to try to control the equilibrium as much as he can. Yeah, Tidehunter has his blink dagger if he just stays alive for a few more seconds. So unless he decides to run towards the enemy fountain and feed, he should be fine. Wolfguard getting a lot of CS now. He was behind in the early stages of the game as he was bullied out by Centaur Warrunner, but now that they've been able to take these fights, take these towers, he has to catch up a bit on farm. We see in terms of net worth, Mule's now leading the board, just because he has been completely uncontested. He was able to shut down the Ember Spirit. Every time he's in the lane, the other heroes are afraid of him, and for damn good reason. Choosing to get more points up in the poison attack over corrosive skin, pretty interesting build. Hasted Lifestealer coming at you. Ghoulie wisely backing away, still hanging around. They actually got Tsukuchi stolen by Yoda. So that's a very nimble Yoda. Stampede's been popped. Blink in. Actually, Mujrim goes on Naix again, but he pops Rage. 5-200. He's called out position though. He might be taking fall. 4 heroes beating on him at once. He's still able to kill Clockwork before that happens. Blink Ravage coming up from Thundercunt. Fantastic initiation. Traps in the Ember Spirit. He's able to zip out the Fire Remnant. Too Easy popping his barbed armor. While it's happening, Ghoulie goes a bit too far forward. He dies before he can pop his time lapse. Never mind, time lapse was on cooldown. 5-200, taking a lot of damage. Too Easy might take a fall with a double ledge. Never mind, he's been kited. Warrunner goes in for a cheeky last hit. Cog's being popped, actually keeping Too Easy alive. How the hell is he still alive? Mujrim can't go in for this. Power shot misses. He's been kited. Mule's going to take him out. Never mind, Yoda snacks the kill. And Thundercunt actually disconnected once again during that fight.
That was really a little bit unfortunate for. I think the Centaur really needs to watch where he positions. He needs to not go on the Naix because
he keeps going on Naix, and Naix keeps raging every time he sees him. So that catches him out in a bad position. The battery assault's going to interrupt Curry, and Curry takes a fall.
Bury me beneath a tree.
Good plays coming out from the boys of 2IP. And you saw how effectively that Blink Ravage wrecked that fight. They did not expect Tidehunter to have Blink. He blinked in, called out 3-4 of them in that Ravage.
Yeah, that Ravage was really money.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Ember Spirit looks like he's going for the BKB, so he's going for the safer build. He was alive in that fight. He had just enough mana to zip out of the cogs. But good play coming out from Too Easy as when you're forced to use your Remnant defensively as the Ember Spirit, it drains a lot of mana, 150. Not so much now that he has an increased mana pool, but still is a significant amount of mana that you're spending. Also means that you have one less Remnant to be able to re-engage. Things to keep in mind.
Centaur actually had to buy back in that fight.
Yeah, and then he died again, so...
Yeah.
Very costly fight for Mujrim. He's been sitting on the same. He's just been sitting on the Tranquil Boots and the Blink Dagger. For your tri-lane carry, safe lane farmer, he hasn't really made the most use of that farm. As both of his Blink initiations happening onto the Lifestealer, he could just rage and start beating you down. Wolfguard actually killed Centaur Warrunner despite being beaten on by 4 other heroes. That's the power of the Lifestealer with the rage as well as the armlet.
Ghoulie's farm is pretty okay though. I think he's picked up a Lincoln Sphere now, but I think he should still go back for BKB after this.
Really? Still BKB with the Weaver? even with the Lincoln Sphere. But where does this damage come from? Because that's the thing you have to keep in mind for Bambi Rising. They don't have all too much damage outside the burst combination with a double edge and the soul assumption. How are they going to go toe-to-toe with the Lifestealer?
They've got Ember spread, and basically, in my opinion, they can't really take fights now to try to get ahead. In my opinion, they need to just sit back, farm, and go for the super late game with items like they need BKB on Weaver to fight against the Ravage, and then they need another damage item on top of it. So they really need to like wait until then, and that's really far away. That's like you need 2 more core items basically.
I see. Looks like Lifestealer might be building a Desolator. Very strong pickup on him. Makes him hit even harder than he already does, and when he's reducing armor, he does so much DPS. Also a very good pickup considering the fact you've got a secondary right clicker in the form of the Viper. So Viper's Nether Toxin provides him up to an extra 160 physical DPS, so the negative armor coming out from the Desolator enables him to focus fire targets down better. He's picked up his Aghanim Scepter, he's having a ball of a time. Do you think Viper should go for a BKB, or do you think he should start building carry items such as the Manta style?
I don't think you need BKB on the Viper. I think possibly, yeah, I think carry items is probably the way. Maybe even like something like an Assault Courier if the Naix is not building one, because the Naix is picking up or not. So it wouldn't be bad to make that on the Viper.
That's true. Familiar is preventing Yoda from going for that regeneration rune, just because if the rune suddenly disappears with Bambi scouting around Familiar's, that knows a smoke gang, so 5-man smoke rotation coming out. Looks like Mudream's gonna be called out of position, he's gonna eat a Viper Strike to the face. Waiting for the rest of the team to catch up. Pop Stampede. It's not going to matter. Throw him back. Blink in from the Tidehunter for the Anchor Smash. And that's a free kill over on Mudream. Bambi Rising playing very defensively. They're playing scared, but while that's happening, Ember Spirit, 5-200, doing some split pushing of his own. Recognizes that he can't fight right now, but he can avoid fights with the Remnant. So good recognition coming up.
The tier 2 mid tower and just try to get some damage done on the other outer towers.
Yeah, he's going for the trade, but Lifestealer, Wolfgun saying, get away from my tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Run a little bottom tower.
She actually contests this now because the hero's on.
Shackle actually catches out Yoda. It's a 3.75 second Shackle on Yoda. Stampede pop. Ghoulie chasing him down. But Yoda has Sakuchi. Never mind, he doesn't. He stole Stampede, so he's able to use that to retreat. Swarm's being dropped on him. Bird drop on Mule. Locking him in place so he can't help out Yoda. Hook shot over from Too Easy. Catches out Curry. Curry's caught in place. He pops his mech. He's been lifted up. It's going to be tossed back, so he burns off with the double cogs. Mule's duking him out. What happens? Actually, Mujrim as well. 5-200 come in. Too Easy, 2 IP are called out. 3v5. All 3 of them take a fall. That's a huge amount of gold going in favor of Bambi Rising as they're able to end a lot of sprees. 700 gold going in favor of the Viper. Wolfgang actually comes in to join the party, but he's a bit too late. Called out the Blink Initiation. Played a fist and double edge with the Soul Assumption finishes him off. Huge misplays coming up from 2 IP. They should have backed away the instant they knew that they were called out of position.
Dire's middle tower.
But chose
the MVP in that fight was actually Bambi. The bat stuns were really solid. They actually hit all 3 heroes and changed
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Also prevented Viper from getting the Viper Strike off over the Warrunner to give Yoda a bit more time. Meant that he was forced to pop them back.
Dire's middle tower has
Great plays coming up from... Yeah, impressive play. You see that Grandmaster StarCraft 2 micro coming out from Bambi. It's the reason why Visage is respect banned. He's got a lot of gold now. Will have his Aghanim Scepter in about 1 point. Never mind, he chose to go for a 4-star, so great item to kite out the Lifestealer. If Lifestealer can't hit you, he's not doing anything. If you can wait out his rage, wait for his rage to wear off, then you can control him spells and burst him down. Lifestealer is surprisingly squishy for a strength hero, since he is dependent on that Armler Madigian. Ravage still is up though, the ultimates are up for both sides. And we've got another smoke rotation coming out. However, the creeps might have spotted that one out.
Yeah, I think if Bambi were watching mid, they would have seen that, but I don't think they were watching actually.
Yeah, because Ghouli's still playing a bit forward. He's probably the safest hero. Actually, Smoke breaks on 2, and Ghouli's able to back away. Yeah, he's pinging them out. He knows something's not quite right.
The Centaur shouldn't be here. He really needs to get out.
Centaur blinks out, but there's still the hookshot coming from Too Easy. Where's that hookshot? Never mind. Clockwork thinks better of it. While that's happening over in the bottom lane, 5-200, duking out with Mule with the Familiars hanging around, but covering fire. Looks like 5-200's going to be able to take a free tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
He had the Remnant placed defensively just in case the Viper went in with the Viper Strike.
That's not gonna hold.
And looks like Weaver's going for the Desolator, so he's feeling confident enough in the rest of his team to provide him that covering fire and to ensure that he doesn't get control during these fights. 4 staff picked up on Windrunner as well. Very difficult for Lifestealer to be able to chase people down now, especially when you consider the fact that he's gone for the Desolator, so he doesn't have that additional chasing power than S and Y would have provided. Best way to deal with a lifestealer is just to kite him around. That's the reason why he tapers off as a one position hero. If in a single core setup, you want to usually have another core or another DPS to hang around to provide that extra form of damage. Blinking from Thundercant over to Ghoulie, but Ghoulie's just able to TP on out.
That was really close.
Over the mid lane, looks like he's going for a few trades over in Curry, but Curry has Wind Run as well as a 4-staff, so Wolfcon perhaps wants to back away. There are two other heroes coming in. They're going to catch him out of position. Mule's hanging around the back end, just in case. Mujarim wants to go in for the blink, but Wolfcon wisely backing away.
I like the decision of BR to pick up a lot of 4-staff because it's really good against Lifestealer and Clockwork.
Yeah, definitely. You also have to keep in mind that the Clockwork cogs, you can 4-staff heroes out of them. So if you can't isolate heroes...
Making one.
Yeah, Mujarim likes to go for 4-staff over on the Centaur Warrunner, especially when he's dealing with the Clockwork, because it gives him another form of repositioning that he can use on allies as well. So 3 4-staffs over on Bambi Rising. Difficult game for the Lifestealer. While it's happening, 5-200, playing a great Ember Spirit. He's going for the split pushing. That's one of the reasons why Ember Spirit's so dangerous as a hero, is the fact that he could always drop a remnant when he goes for split pushes. The instant you go on him, he just remnants to safety.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
In that sense, he's... Great micro coming up from the Familiars, preventing the push from happening mid. Bambi really showing off his skill over on the Visage. Too easy, cops shackle to the face, but it doesn't latch.
By the gods,
they back away. While that's happening, 5-200 takes a free tattooed tower.
It was a valiant effort.
Looks like he's going for a Claymore. Is that a Battle Fury build coming out from Ember Spirit?
Yeah, I think that'll be a Battle Fury. It's not the worst, especially because...
Too easy, hook shots in. He catches out Curry, but Curry's a 4-star. 4-star from Tower 3, eats the cog burn. What's happening? Naix bomb up on the Tidehunter. They're going to take a Tier 2 mid tower as trade for their Tier 2 that lost bottom. The 5-200 continue to push. They want to defend this. They can't deal with that split push coming up from the Ember Spirit. As if left unchecked, he's going to be able to chip away at Tier 3 tower. 2 IP, they're on the gun right now. They need to go for initiation or they need to back away. One or the other. So great recognition coming up from 5-200. Blink hoofs off initiation, catches out 2. Stampede's to safety, Ravages pop, catches out 3. Wolfcut jumps out, Double Edge actually seals his doom. Too easy pops to the Blade Mill is able to kill off Ember Spirit in the background. Curry, he's got his 4-staff up, never mind, Chiyu comes in. Pops the Mechanism. Wolfcut actually takes the fall. His rage is being kited out. Eats a soul sumption in the face. Yoda, you can run. He's Sakuchi's out of there. Mule eats a soul sumption. It doesn't have enough charge to do all too much damage. He's TPing home. Where's the bird drop? Never mind. Shackle. Soul sumption again. Ghoulie's beating on him. And Bambi Rising are able to successfully defend their Tier 3 as well as Rax trading 2 of their cores for 4 heroes over on 2 IP. Very happy with that trade. Great defensive play coming out from them. Mujarim goes in with the Blink hoofs off initiation on 2. Stampede's to safety.
It's just a bit unfortunate that that 5-200 didn't pop his BKB in time.
Yeah, that really cost him his life. If he had that fresh 10-second BKB, never mind, a 9-second BKB, so that would have kept him alive. Desolator just picked up on Ghoulie, so it looks like they should be able to DPS down the Tier 2 before 2IP can react. Too easy, building towards that Aghanim Scepter gives him a lot more utility of the Clockwork. So you've got a 12-second hook shot, especially when you keep in mind the fact that there's also a 12-second Viper Strike. The longer fights go, the messier it gets for your end, just because their ultimates come back offline. Lifestealer has his Desolator as well. He was able to deal a significant amount of DPS during that fight, but you saw the instant his rage wore off, Soul Assumption to the face does so much damage.
Yeah, the effectiveness of the top of initiation is really reduced by all the boss pickups.
Definitely. Same with the Lifestealer. Familiar's hanging around, trying to go for a bird drop. Actually catches out Wolfcut with 2. So delaying Wolfcut from being able to run up and open wound somebody. They're able to successfully defend their Tier 2. They could go for the deny with the catapult, bringing it just below the threshold. One more right click. There we go. So they can deny that Tier 2 tower. Battle Fury finished on the Ember Spirit, so that gives them a lot more split pushing power, a lot more AoE teamfight presence. If they happen to be clumped together.
Oh wow. Did he have the Perseverance on the career the whole time?
Yeah, I think he must have, because I only saw the Claymore on the stash. Yeah, so that's actually very big. 5-200's been playing fantastic on his Ember Spirit. He knows that he was outplayed in the mid lane, and so what he's been doing is he's been playing to the strengths of the hero, which is the split pushing power. Viper can't really split push. He has to stick with his team, go for ganks, and then go for tower pushes. So Bambi Rising, recognizing that if the enemy is stronger than you, you force him to divide himself, you make him come to you. And so they continue to nip away with the split pushing powers. You've got 2 very mobile core heroes. You have the Weaver who has Sakuchi as well as Time-Lapse and Lincoln, so he's a hard nut to crack. And you have the Ember Spirit with the Remnants, especially when you consider the fact that the primary DPS, for the 2 IP, actually, Wolfcon forced to pop is Infest. Ghoulie doing a lot of damage. He's called out though. Lincoln's Fest being popped with the Fade Bolt. He might be taking a fall. Never mind. He has a time lapse, so he's able to force to pop a time lapse. So Infest for a time lapse. Better trade for Ghoulie, as time lapse is a very low cooldown, especially at level 3. Hookshot actually misses. If that hookshot latched, that would have been a kill over on Weaver. And they trade away that Tattoo Tower in exchange for that. I don't know why they didn't deny that.
Now belongs to the Aegis.
And 5200 continuing to nip away at the bottom lane. You see him instantly zip to the Remnant that he had way back here. The instant he saw Rubick come in, he's playing very safe. Didn't want to take any chances. And Tidehunter.
Like see Visage pick up a gem, so he can get rid of wards like this.
Yeah, the de-warding power would really hinder 2 IP's map presence, and relying on the wards to catch people in position so they could go in for the smoke ganks. Looks like Tidehunter's going for a refresher orb, but he's on ward and sentry ward duty. Disconnect coming up from. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
He had disconnected.
Yeah.
Even if the Tidehunter goes to refresher orb at this stage, he won't have the mana to cast 2 Ravages, I think.
Yeah, unless he has Arcane Orb off cooldown as Arcane Boots off cooldown as well, he'll just barely have enough mana to get off 2 Ravages. But that means you don't have to.
Ravages to level 1.
Yeah, you don't have to gush. You don't have the Anchor Smash, so you're actually limiting a lot of the DPS that Tidehunter provides in exchange for the 2 Ravages, which could be worth it if you're able to catch out their entire team. Ghoulie takes a free Tattoo Tower on the top lane. Bambi Rising playing that split push strategy to perfection, recognizing that their late game is superior to 2 IP. Weaver, he hasn't really needed to go for that BKB. He's only died once so far. With the Sakuchi and with the time lapse as well as Lincoln's Fair, he has enough survivability through his mobility and his relocation ability with the time lapse. While I say that, yeah, free Roshan for 2 IP. That's the Roshan that they needed. With that Roshan kill, they could look to start pushing down to tier 3. Just Death Ball push straight down. Get a Rex with Lifestealer, with the Desolator, as well as the Aegis of the Immortal. He does a significant amount of DPS. Rocket Flare's done out by 2 easy to try to prevent the lanes from pushing in. But while I say that, Ghoulie in the top lane, he's just been sitting wherever the enemy is not. Good plays coming out from him. Since the longer the game drags out, the more in favor of Bambi Rising it goes. In terms of EXP, 10,000 EXP lead for Bambi Rising, and looks like a 6,000 gold lead. Yeah, actually, Yoda's going to take a fall with the Familiars. Great play coming out from Bambi. They blink in. Ghoulie's forced to pop a time lapse. No cogs. Ravage actually blown. Catches him out of position. He has Sakuchi up in a few more seconds, though. He's still Sakuchiing around this. It looks like he's going to live Stampede for a bit more movement. And that's a Ravage wasted, as well as a kill over on Yoda.
That was a sick force-off by Bambi. Did you see that?
Yeah, he force-offed him just out of range. Also made sure that his Familiars could get the kill on Yoda. Hoofstomp, he actually catches out Thundercunt. 2 IP falling apart the seams right now. Mujirima taking fall. Nevermind, Force-Staff just keeps him alive for a bit longer. Gary's coming in. Soul Assumption takes out a chunk of Wolfcon's life. He's running for his life. Where's the Shackle Shot coming out from Windrunner? Infest into a creep. Rubick forced to buy back. Bambi Rising actually could try to go for a tier 3. He's in the bottom lane while all this is happening. 5200, constantly nipping at your heels. Fantastic plays coming up from Bambi. Able to use
I feel like possibly 5200 should have been in that fight, but
yeah, he wasn't actually able to push down the tier 3 tower for all too much. If he was there, he could provide that Searing Chains, could have provided a lot more damage, but he knows that the late game's secured, so he's just going to try and drag the game out for as long as possible. Now that he has his Battle Fury, do you think he's going to stack more of them, or do you think he's going to be building towards something like a MKB or even a Daedalus? Just to increase the amount of damage it provides?
I think Daedalus is the way to go here.
Yeah, similar to Kunkka, if you do get a surprise fish and crit with your Slater Fist, or with your Tidebringer, you can do a surprising amount of damage. Centaur Warrunner looks like he's building the pipe for his team, so he has that Hood of Defiance. Good pick up on him as it reduces the amount of damage he takes from Double Edge when he uses it. So he only takes about 210 damage when he pops Double Edge, compared to the 400 magic damage that the enemy hero takes. Tidehunter actually looks like he's going for the Blade Mail, so he's got that Chainmail pickup. A lot of Blade Mails over on 2 IP. They actually pick off Lifestealer with the Slater Fist. Viper Strike pops, snaring up 5200, but he's just TPing the safety. Ghoulie running away. He's got Sakuchi as well as time lapse. Actually, hookshot catches him out from too easy. He doesn't use the cogs though, as he wants him to waste his time lapse. He time lapses now. Where's the cogs? Cogs traps him in. Great recognition coming up from too easy. They get a free kill over on Ghoulie. Fantastic recognition coming up from too easy, and Tidehunter disconnects once again.
That cog was really good.
Yeah, waiting until he was forced to blow time lapse and then cogging him in. I swear, if we played a drinking game where we took a shot for every time Thundercunt disconnected, I think we'd be pretty drunk by this point, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Your thoughts on that, Yoshi?
Yeah, the disconnect. Well, I think at this point they're not even bothering positive. They're just gonna micro him when he.
Yeah, Yoda, team captain, just microing Thundercunt. MKB picked up on Viper, significant DPS item for him. As with the Aghanim Zap to upgrade for his Viper Strike, he knows that he can hold you in place while he beats on you savagely. Looks like Lifestealer's going for the Assault Cuirass, so he needs the armor, he needs the attack speed, as it gives him that much more survivability, especially when you consider the fact that there's a Desolator up on the enemy team. Bambi, going with the Visage Familiars, he's going to disrupt the creep wave, leashing them back, preventing the push over in the mid lane. Great plays coming out for him. That's buying 5-200 times to get more hits over in the TF3. Fortification pop, once the teleport goes down, backdoor regeneration will actually kick in. 5-200. Fortification popped. He pops BKB. He's TPing back in. He's going right away. Happens Mujrim catches out 3. Fantastic defensive plays coming up for him. 5-200 gets a double kill. Mule's hanging around on his own. He's getting called out. Amazing initiation coming up from Mujrim. He called out 3 with that hoof stomp. Follow up with the double edge. 5-200. BKB TP's in. He's able to follow up with the AoE damage coming out from his Slate of Fist. And they take 5 for none in exchange for the Tier 3 tower. That could actually be a Rax in favor of Bambi Rising. And you see all the little details.
That was basically flawless from the Centaur and the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, as well as you got to keep in mind, Bambi was able to buy them a lot of time to do that by leashing back the creep wave, delaying the push for a bit longer. 2IP on the back foot. They do have all their ultimates up. But it looks like they're going to lose their Tier 3 tower before all of them respawn to be able to fight. Great methodical play coming up from Bambi Rising. Recognizing the strengths of their draft, which is that they have a better superior late game, so they're kicking it as late as possible. Yoda TPing in, they lose their bottom racks. And they even lose their mid lane racks as well. Going for a defensive play. Thundercunt's about to blink in with the Ravage. Never mind, he's holding onto it. He blinks and throws out the Ravage. Ravage whiffs. Only catches Bambi. That's a Shiva level Ravage. Hookshot blocked by the Familiars. Too easy, caught out of position. Yoda's going to take it forward with a double lead. Focus fire over Wolfcut. Wolfcut kills 5-200. Too easy catches out Bambi, but Bambi turns around. Says, you're stuck in it with me, not the other way around. Curry takes a fall. Mule duking out 5-200 and bolt back. TP back in. Wolfcunt's also duking out as well. Mule forced to back away. Thundercunt, Ghoulie's able to pick off Mule in the back end. Thundercunt takes a fall as well as Wolfcunt. 2 buybacks coming up from the cause of 2 IP. But this could be a game as they can just group up and push down the top lane of Rax. Another buyback coming up from the Tidehunter, but he doesn't have Ravage. So I don't know why he chose to buy back. What if he doesn't actually contribute all too much outside of Ravage? That's the drawback with Tidehunter. Outside of his Ravage, all he has is the Gush and the Anchor Smash, which are good in the early stages of the game, but in the late game, with BKBs up, with heroes being a lot tankier, doesn't quite offer enough as another support hero such as the Rubick offers. Fantastic plays coming out from Mujrim as well as Bambi. Able to block the hookshot with his Familiars, catches too easy out of position, able to kill him using the DPS from the Familiars as well as himself.
This is basically almost unwinnable for 2IP at this stage, I think.
Yeah, you've got the split push coming out from 5-200 as well as the Visage Familiars. Keep in mind that when one creep is in the high ground, you remove backdoor protection, so he could go and snipe off the range racks anytime he wants to. And look how fat Visage is. 3.8k. There's a reason why Visage is respect banned up against Bambi Rising. That Grandmaster StarCraft 2 micro proving to be too strong. Sheepstick picked up by Windrunner, so the instant Wolfcunt's rage ends, he just turn him into a pig, start beating on him. Also hex up the Viper since he didn't go for BKB. Removes his damage output from the fight for 3.5 seconds. Very significant. Very calculated, methodical play coming out from Bambi Rising. As they've been drawing out the game for as long as possible. They know that they've got the game in the bag now. They have a very significant EXP and gold lead. 20,000 EXP lead. And 15,000 gold lead. Keep in mind, there's also a lot of buybacks coming out from 2IP of their core heroes. And so in terms of net worth, they're dropping significantly. The 4 position Warrunner almost has the same amount of net worth as the 1 position Lifestealer. This Warrunner has been given way too much time and space to farm. She is fat as all hell. 4-star sheepstick as well as a 15-minute mech picked up on
Attention
her.
shoppers. Dyer's middle barracks have fallen.
Thundercunt disconnects.
By Weaver's item choice.
What did Weaver go for?
He made a demon edge and then he suddenly went back for the Reaver.
Yeah, I don't know why he did that. You want to finish the MKB up on Weaver since you want to build damage first, then go for survivability. I guess he really doesn't want to die, but still, it's a very inefficient use of your gold. You go for one or the other, you don't want to second guess yourself halfway through. Too easy calling out the Klinksbirds as the Visage familiars go in for the tower snipe. Look how annoying they've been, providing so much space for the rest of Bambi Rising. Bambi's been playing some guerrilla warfare with his familiars. That's that StarCraft 2 player them coming out. You see him leashing the creep wave back, actually, for as long as possible. You can actually leash him back towards 5200 so he can kill him off as well. That heavily delays the push coming out from 2 IP, as not only do you have super creeps that are going to clear out your creep wave, you also can't go in for the tower with the backdoor regen kicking in. Since your creep wave is being delayed.
Boom, there it goes.
Dyer's middle
Just
tower
don't have
is
a creep
under
wave to
attack.
go in with.
It has no
Oh my
arms to
god.
defend itself.
Yeah, and while that's happening, check out your back rack. Blink Ravage catches out 4. Great plays coming out from Stampede's pop. Mushroom takes a fall. Thundercunt's gonna take a fall as well. 5200 coming back in. He turns around. He instantly kills Wolfcunt. Mr. Remnants is zipping the place for Mule. Zipping and zapping everywhere. Mushroom bites back in. Gets a revenge kill over in the Viper. And JJ calls by Wolfcunt. I think he wants to say GG. GG has been called. Bambi Rising take a fantastic Game 1 victory. Playing to the strengths of their draft. Dragging out the game for as long as possible. You saw some phenomenal split push play coming up from Visage Familiars as well as 5200. Any thoughts of the game?
That was really well played by them. I'm very impressed. They've improved. They've improved a lot since I actually last saw them play, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. They recognize that they need a 2-0 win if they want to make it to the next stage of the ODL 1. So they're playing their hearts out. Just going to take a quick break and we'll be back for game number 2. Yoshi, you're going to be co-casting me for that one as well?
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, so we'll be right back. Stay tuned for more.